Volkswagen, once a traditional brand, is now facing the prospect of disappearing from the German market. Not tomorrow, not the day after, but whether VW will still exist in Germany in 2030 is a huge, justified question mark. Meanwhile, production in Germany is being either halted or significantly reduced, supposedly due to cost-saving measures and declining demand. The issues Volkswagen is facing are largely self-inflicted, and the biggest problem, Stephan, is that no one wants to talk about it because it's from Lower Saxony. That's why we're discussing it here today on behalf of Lower Saxony, Volkswagen, and all those anti-fascist unions that seem to have nothing better to do than organizing bus trips to AfD Party Congress. Instead, they're all going into short-time work. Welcome again to Politics with Insight. They're really up there. They're crazy in their positions, not understanding that they've simply failed. Volkswagen, a company with over 200,000 employees worldwide, is now in a predicament, supposedly because people aren't buying as many cars. However, if we look at the global passenger car market, it's not that fewer cars are being sold compared to last year. Instead, VW is losing market share. They want to tell us that fewer cars are sold overall. No, fewer cars are sold in Germany, but the Chinese are selling more, the Japanese are selling more, and so on. The numbers are still high, but Volkswagen doesn't want to address the real issue. Of their 200,000 employees, 120,000 are in Germany, and about 40,000 of those are in administration. That means every third employee isn't productive but is moving paper from one place to another or sending Excel files from one computer to another. It's madness. And then they build cars with 80% parts from the Far East and label them made in Wolfsburg, even though it's just plastic waste sold for a fortune. It's unbelievable how much they charge for the poor quality they deliver. Just look at all the recall actions. The only thing still working at Volkswagen is the Porsche brand, but even there, they've lost two car models due to EU regulations, the Volkswagen T6 and the Porsche Macan. These regulations were introduced to set safety criteria for car software and make it harder to hack. VW says they don't care if their customers get hacked. They won't improve their IT systems. VW software subsidiary Cariad was a total disaster. Now they've gone to Japan, a Chinese competitor, trying to solve their software issues while VW has mocked Tesla and its approach. Yet Tesla's system is far more integrated with one control unit managing everything, while the new VW ID.3 has 79 control units. It's no wonder they can't build cars cost-effectively. Regardless of whether people like the design of the cars or not, it's a disaster. VW is now cutting capacity in Germany by 25%, which is significant since the main production capacities are in Germany. VW is facing headwinds from China and the electric vehicle sector. The new Macan, which can only be sold as an electric vehicle, hasn't performed well in the new EV market. VW is also looking to save on battery production for their EVs. VW CEO Bloom mentioned that internal adjustments must be made according to market demands. Remember, VW's roof is on fire and it's burning even more. Don't forget Stephan, the Prime Minister of Lower Saxony, holds a 20% stake in VW, creating a problem of minority interests. When it comes to laying off 5,000 people, the Social Democrats who have betrayed their principles come running and make demands. Meanwhile, Porsche Holding SE owns 53% of VW and Qatar owns 17%. We already know that Mercedes is also largely owned by the Chinese. The decline of the German automotive industry is happening right before our eyes, and they don't even notice it. How can VW let the EU regulations take away the Macan and the T6, their staple models like the Passat of the past? They should have continued producing those models and sued the EU for this new regulation, which makes it impossible to approve already authorized models. It's complete madness. Now, they also want to retire 8 million diesel cars, not by the Commission, but by a European Court of Justice ruling. Our Transport Minister, Mr. Wissing, has already sensed the problem and wants a legal change in Brussels to prevent the European Court of Justice from retroactively redrawing vehicle approvals. This is the current legal situation where the European Court can revoke approvals granted in the past. It's total insanity, and they won't notice it in Wolfsburg. We're witnessing the once prominent car company disintegrate. It will disintegrate massively because they will never get rid of their bloated bureaucracy. They can't cut off their own head of the snake, which is full of union members and party officials. They always shout about social acceptable layoffs only with early retirement and transfer companies, but when facing global competition that, like in the US, simply fires 15,000 employees, it's not possible here. You will go under and you'll all go down together in collective madness with citizen income, and then VW can be demolished in Wolfsburg, or maybe even the entire city of Wolfsburg will be torn down, or it will become a tourist site for Chinese visitors wanting to see how Beetles were made in Germany. You're especially not noticing it at VW. They're letting their staple models be taken away and not offering new, affordable models. The VW Up, which was also available as an electric vehicle, was a popular car, but it's gone. It's complete madness. A small Polo costs 25,000 to 50,000 euros marks. It's just a joke now with a tiny weird engine in the middle. Everything is just eco-trash. Nothing comes out of the back. It barely moves forward. It's madness. The cars were beautiful in the past. Well, how do you see this whole situation? I bet there are people watching who work at VW. Please let me know if I'm underestimating or exaggerating. I think I'm underestimating. The situation at VW is really dire, but they can't see it because they have too much administrative staff that would all need to be laid off with notice and severance payments. And there's not even the will to do so. Maybe the money is still there. I'm curious how long we can keep watching until VW no longer exists. The company needs to be broken up. The brands need to be split again. Now they're selling their MEB platform, their modular electric vehicle platform, to Ford. So VW is still making money even if they don't produce cars, as they've sold their platform to Ford. This means any flaws in the VW platform will also be present in all Ford vehicles built on it. But we've seen this before with Ford and the Bonn train. Meanwhile, the train service in this country doesn't seem to work anymore. Subscribe to the channel, follow me, and if you work at VW, please leave a comment if you have more information. For any other topics, feel free to email me, including if you have insider information, which will be treated confidentially if needed. Otherwise, see you soon.